Radical.
As many of you know, or may not know, I am one of the biggest Funko Pop collectors in the world. I believe, last time I checked, I have about 90% of them, almost all of them. I still have a couple rare ones I gotta get, but I'm really big into the Funkos. Really big into the Funkos. Yeah, and I even have variations. I think I have all the Batmans, even the different colors, the really shiny different versions they make, all the alternates I have for certain sets. My problem is actually just finding a place to display them, which I've solved the problem because what I've done is I built an actual museum. No, not a game museum. I built an actual game museum. No, wait. Did I build a game museum? Am I working at a game museum? There's a YouTuber named John Hancock who probably has as much chance making an actual game museum as I do. Just it reminds me I gotta do a John Hancock game museum update for 2025 if I haven't already. But yeah, so I've actually made a museum that will be open pretty soon to show off all my Funko Pops. Yeah, all the Funko Pops. I'm just bullshitting you. I don't collect this crap. Look at this crap, man. And the middle one there, the Okaroon, which is a character from the anime Dan da Dan da Dan da Dan, doesn't look as bad as some of them. I mean, for what they are, I mean, they're not hideous. I've seen worse collectibles. I actually might have a side upload talking about a worse looking collectible. But some of them are not hideous. Some of them actually, I will say, border on kind of cool looking. Like there's a John Wick one that, given the circumstance, might be okay to display somewhere. But most of these look like crap. Most of these look like crap. Like, for instance, the one almost near the last here that I'm showing off, Love Actually Mark. I guess that's a romantic movie, and that's Mark from Love Actually. And it has like a little sign that says, "To me, you are perfect." All right, so how many big fans are there of the movie Love Actually? And what is it about that particular Funko Pop that looks unique? In contrast to the first three you see to the left, Solo Leveling, Demon Hunter, and then Okaroon, who the fuck wants Mark from Love Actually? Why are they wasting their time to make certain Funko Pops for stuff like that? They almost have a Funko Pop for every fucking thing. And maybe that's one of the reasons that Funko Pop, they may be going out of business. They may be going out of business. Where the hell is the problem here is, I'm going to have to do this in two parts here because I didn't think about pulling up actually the information to share with you guys about that. So first, we're just going to go through and I'm going to show you, the two or three of you that don't know what Funko Pops are, what these look like. Okay, so another slide here. We got Jimmy McNulty from The Wire. Ooh, it's 20% off. E.T. phone home. And then we have E.T. Then we got a little, some Return of the Jedi items, only $8. And then we have E.T. in disguise there. Come on, some more. All right. There's the shark from The Rivals. There's one from Demon Slayer. It seems like the newer ones, there's slightly a little more detail than used to be in the past. But I don't know. Let's just look at some of these. Like Bruce Lee. The problem is they don't. Wait, they have mouths now? They added mouths? Look at the Pennywise. That's a good upgrade they had. They actually added mouths in some of these cases. Basically, Funko Pop. They have a Funko Pop for almost everything. See, there's one for Invincible. You take from these popular franchises and you create these Funko Pops And a lot of times people get them because, well, they're fans of the popular media. They're fans of that. So, yeah, that's basically what the Funko Pops are. Now, these, you would think, with as small they are, they would be like $4 or $5. But they are $15 each. These Funko Pops are $15 a pop each. So, who the hell right now in this 2025 economy has a lot of expendable income to spend $15 on a little piece of shit Funko Pop? Sorry. I mean, most of them, they're just, I mean, I know there's collectors of these, but most of these look like shit. I mean, look at them, man. That Simpsons one, that's just so weird. With the square head and everything. And this is, what I'm saying is probably going to anger a lot of you hardcore Funko Popist that might actually be building a museum in your backyard to put all your extra Funko Pops. So, you know, some of these are worth a lot of money. It's collectible. Some are rare. Yeah. So were Beanie Babies. All right. This is just a newer kind of fad right now. And we may be coming to the end of this big fad, or whatever the hell you call it. You know, something that's really popular. Everyone goes out of their way to get and buy all these and collect them because, hey, some of them might be worth $1 million someday. These things come and go. And it might be the time has come to an end for Funko Pop. Quick edit. We're going to switch over to the actual news part of this. So here's the news about this situation. According to the latest quarterly earnings report, there is substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern for the next 12 months without a acquisition or some more funding. They suffered a loss of $1 million in the third quarter of 2025, and the sales have tanked 20% year over year. They had previously reported a $41 million loss in the second quarter of 2025. So that's bad news. That's bad news for Funko Pop. And you remember years ago, I actually talked about how they overproduced so many Funko Pops. They actually put them son of bitches in a landfill. Yeah, they ET'd them motherfuckers. They buried Funko Pops because they made so many. And there was a time, the pandemic, where a lot of people were buying more. They were getting collectibles. And correct me if I'm wrong here. That's my idea. Is like, it seemed like this stuff kind of boomed around 2019, 2020 when it was kind of newer. And around that time, people were spending a lot of money. They weren't going out, but they were ordering things online. So they were staying in their houses. The same reason a lot of people were playing a whole lot more video games than they do right now, I think, was a boom in 2020 with the pandemic. A boom for a lot of businesses, like delivery businesses, for instance, had a big boom in 2020. So this is not good for them. They are losing money. Sales are down 20%. And sometimes you can deal with that. You can deal with your company going through a rough patch if you're not trying to make a Funko Pop for every fucking thing. Everything does not need a Funko Pop, right? If you're in the situation of this company, you have to stop. You have to stop the pops. You have to pull back. And maybe it's already too late. You got to pull back from making all these things and shitting them out on the market, okay? How collectible is something if you make so many of them? People lose track about the collectible ones. They're putting out a lot of Funko Pops. You know this if you go to any GameStop. They shouldn't call it GameStop anymore. They should call it Game Pop. Because that's all you seem to fucking see if you go into a GameStop. I have to push some of the Funko Pops out of the way before I see some actual video games in a goddamn GameStop. These things are everywhere. They're taking up floor space everywhere. But mostly where I've seen them the most, other than GameStop, is these outlet stores. You know, these places where they sell outlet clothes. You will see a lot of Funko Pops in there. And some of these look like they're almost like brand new. But they make all these Funko Pops for just about everything. Oh, anime, comic books, sports stars, even not the super sports stars. Video game Funko Pops, of course, but I just see Funko Pops in these outlet stores from TV shows I've never even heard of, from things I've never even heard of. That is a recipe for disaster. I mean, at some point you must have thought that, okay, people are going to get tired of seeing all these Funko Pops. People are just going to be like, well, I can go get Funko Pops at one of these outlet stores for $2 or $3. There's a ton of Funko Pops in here. Do I need the newest Funko Pop? Only the super fans of something might go get that. Only the super fans of, let's say, an anime like Dan to Dan might get the whole set of everything. And these things are $15. Like I mentioned earlier, we are in a down spot in the economy. Also, one thing I failed to mention was they also brought up tariffs is a factor in here. They also brought up tariffs because, well, every company's going to bring up tariffs and everything. Regardless if the tariffs affects things or not for the company, they're going to make sure to always bring that up. And maybe it is affecting this company. So the idea that someone right now who might be struggling to make their car payment, their house payment, or just get groceries, which have spiked significantly this year, is going to go out and pay $15 for a little piece of shit turd looking thing. Now, granted, some of these don't look that bad, but just little vinyl turds. These little tiny things. The box looks a little better in most cases than the actual Funko. Just to put them up and display them. Most people are not getting a ton of these. There might just be something that's a Funko Pop for something that they like. Well, do I even have any Funko Pops left? I think I sold all mine. I think I might have like one or two. No, I'm selling those for someone else. I don't have any Funko Pops. But everyone has maybe one or two Funko Pops. They're like, damn, if they made something like that, I'm a big fan of that show. I would go get a Funko Pop just because I love that show. Now, I'll tell you, don't do that. Don't buy something. Don't buy a Funko just because they made one for your favorite show. That's enabling them. What they need to do is start by lowering the price. Maybe with all the Funko Pops, add mouths. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. They can change the way these things look with the little tiny legs and arms and the huge-ass bobblehead or whatever. They can't change that. But Funko Pop should be no more, in most cases, unless it's like something that's bigger, no more than $9.99. That should be the top level for something like this. But maybe certain companies deserve to fail. If Funko Pop goes away in 12 months, maybe they deserve to fail. And it's a lesson learned for a lot of other people that try to do this same thing, which is overflooding the market with these collectibles. Yeah, stupid decision to keep pushing these little things out on people when they probably notice. If they're not stupid, they probably go out to some of these stores, to people that run Funko Pops, and get feedback from these stores that tell them this stuff is just not selling. So, yeah. I shouldn't be giving advice to Funko because honestly, I don't care if they go away. I mean, will any of you shed a tear if Funko Pop goes away? Of all the news that would be terrible if we lose something, I think we can stand. I think the world can stand in 12 months losing Funkos.